Hello, welcome back. Great to have you with us this morning. Now, earlier in the show, as part of ITV's Stand By Your Man campaign, we were talking to actress Tamsin Outhwaite and her dad Colin about his battle with prostate cancer.
Well, 1 in 8 men in the UK will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and it's the focus of today's Health Alert. Back in 2011, we spoke to Dave Beesley, who was part way through a course of radiation to beat the illness.
It was purely just a blood test, and the PSA level was running at 10.1. From the result of that, we had the biopsies of the prostate, and it found then that I had aggressive cancer, which had spread outside the prostate. I think that the important message is I had no symptoms prior to actually having that blood test.
Well, Dave is with us now, along with Dr. Chris. So you were halfway through your treatment when we saw you last
I was, actually. I'd done about 26 days, and I think I had 11 days left to go.
So what was the prognosis? Where are you at now? How are you?
Well, the fantastic news is that 3 weeks ago, I was given the all clear.
Fantastic.
Which is an unbelievable story.
Good.
And hopefully it gives encouragement to lots more people out there that you can get better.
That's fantastic news.
But, you know, I think through my journey I was sort of lucky in as much I was having PSA tests, and it's a bit like, you know, sort of trotting along, you know, you sort of keep your eye on it. The sort of base level is about 4. Men need to be under 4, really. It went to 5.2, and I thought, I'm going to have another blood test in 6 months' time.
So this is a routine blood test you were having. What made you go to have the blood test in the first place?
Because I'd read up about it, and I think that's it, really. And I think that...
Is there a history of it in your family?
Well, actually, I didn't know there was history of it in my family until after I'd started treatment. Because years ago they didn't really record prostate cancer as it was. I went back 8 months later, and it had gone from 5.2 to 10.1.
Yeah.
Well, so, you know, where we were trotting along, you know, we're now in a raging gallop.
You are in a very good place now. What were you like? What were you thinking when I first met you back then?
Philip, I've always been positive.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big message as well, is about staying positive. So, life is good, you know. I mean, my role now really is to spread the word to get men checked, and I work tirelessly on it.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about having a DRE, it's really just about a pure blood test. Go along to the doctor and ask for blood test.
What's the DRE? Is that the...
It's a digital rectal examination,
which you're going to be
doing. We'll be doing very shortly.
Yeah.
Yes.
But by just pure... At 50, in the UK, it's your right to have a blood test. Lots of doctors will say, well, have you got any symptoms? And they'll say, no, I haven't got any symptoms. So they may say, well, no, we're not going to give you a blood test then. But you can say, well, actually, I would like a blood test. And if there's history in the family, then certainly you can have it done a lot earlier than that.
The whole point, Chris, is certainly about the morning that we're having here, this campaign throughout ITV, is to encourage blokes to think about their own bodies. And actually, I think we're getting better, but we're still not very good at it.
Oh, yeah, us men are terrible. Absolutely
That's
terrible.
why you need us girls, you see, to prompt you to go to the doctor.
And we're not complaining. Nice to have the girls there. But see, the PSA test, that's a prostate-specific antigen. It's a protein in your blood that comes from the prostate gland. But we have a sort of a level anyhow, you're healthy men, but with prostate cancer, the level can rise. Now, other things can cause the PSA to rise. I mean, a colleague of mine is a consultant surgeon in the States, thought they were doing routine PSAs on men over 50. So he went along, had his PSA, and it was raised. Now, this pal of mine's a keen cyclist. He'd been cycling for an hour that morning on the bike, the saddle rubbing against his prostate gland had sent his PSA up. As a result of his raised PSA, he went for a prostate biopsy, which isn't the most pleasant experience.
Oh, it's pretty horrific, actually.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't say that.
Don't say that, no.
Well, I was just going to say, if you like,
it's not the nicest.
anything,
it's like girls having the smear test, you know? It's not the nicest thing, but we do it to save our lives. Yeah.
And also, I mean, if you've gone to your GP and you have symptoms, which I'll describe later, he may do an examination of the prostate, rectal examination, and then do a PSA afterwards, which is not the right thing to do, because massaging the prostate can raise the PSA.
Can I just ask Chris quickly, as I know you've got to go and talk to Richard, but do men under 50 get prostate cancer?
It's very rare. It's certainly an age-related condition. So it's from 50 onwards. The average time of diagnosis, sort of 70 to 74 years of age. What's interesting, when they've done post-mortems on men aged 90, 90% of them had prostate cancer present in the prostate. It's a cancer that can be slow-growing. Yours wasn't.
I would say that with the screening process, we are finding more regularly younger men are picking up with prostate cancer.